morning and happy Halloween. It's your boy Jason, and we've got some football to talk about today. But today, it's not just going to be me yapping. I've got a very spooky guest joining the show, Tyler Football. He might look a little bit different today, but it's going to be a good one. We're giving you our top 6 sells, 3 from each of us, players that we're just terrified to roster for the rest of the season in celebration of spooky season. So guys, go ahead and take out your coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. My man, Tyler.
All right. The hat can't stay on at the same time the headphones are on, so we had to make a conscious decision. So the hat's gonna stay off for the remainder, most of the show. But if you couldn't tell, I don't know if I want to say cowboy or just I don't want to insult where anyone's actually from, so I'm just gonna say cowboy. But I don't know, wherever the cowboys that are alcoholics, that's me. That's what I am for Halloween today. So
that might have been.
It's just, guys, again, we're just acting here. This doesn't mean every morning. I'm not just popping beers it's 9 o'clock where I am. So I just want to get that out there. Jason's got coffee. I got beer. I will finish this beer by the time the show ends. I just need to get that out there.
The very first coffee beer. Just beer. It's just beer.
There we go.
It's just beer on Wake and Take to celebrate. That is awesome. Jamie says you're dressed as a stud muffin. Dustin says Kenny Chesney. And you might just be big country.
So Jerry Joe, that's a good comment. That's a good comment.
And for the audience, I'm Joe Burrow.
Hey, I like this one. I thought you were Channing Tatum and Magic Mike for a split second. That one makes me feel good about myself. I appreciate that.
You're more handsome than Channing Tatum, Tyler. You know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, as you guys can already tell, we are gearing up for a very, very fun show. Again, we're talking players we're scared of. Really, it's good. It's spooky. It's spooky right now. It's getting scary in these streets. We're heading into the second stretch of the season now, and we've got to make some moves. There's some players that are at a great beginning of the season that are probably going to lose some steam for the second half. So we're trying to find those players. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. The players that we are selling. Tyler, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'll start us off. It's a guy who had a really good performance last week, but that's why it's the perfect time to sell. I'm so in on selling Chargers wide receiver. Also, Steve Smith comp guy, Ladd McConkey. I don't see, he had a great game last week. I'm not taking that away from him. But if you look at just he's currently the wide receiver 24 or 22 on the season. He's a wide receiver 24 on Keep Trade Cut. But if you just take a look at his game log and see how he's actually scoring points, if he doesn't score a touchdown, his entire, he's not having a good week.
Right.
He only has 1 game or 2 games with over 60 receiving yards, 1 game over 70 receiving yards, which was last week. He had 111 yards for 2 touchdowns on 6 catches. But if we I'm going to take the touchdowns out of it real quick because he scored 1 in week 1. He scored 1 in week 4. He had 2 last week, right? If you just look at the rest of the performances, it's 5 for 39, 2 for 26, 3 for 44, 5 for 67, 4 for 43, and 5 for 46. And then last week he has the 6 for 111. Last week was the first game. Okay, this guy looks unbelievable, looks really good. We know about the Chargers offense. They are starting to throw it a little bit more, which, maybe hopefully your friends can hear about that as well. But I'm just not all there. I'll add McConkey. QJ will come back, who was pretty involved earlier in the season. Not saying he's going to drastically pull Ladd McConkey down, but it's another guy, at least in the offense, to, be concerned about, a guy who is getting some volume. So Ladd McConkey is just the guy that I think I'm looking to sell. I think right now, especially just because I think you can get a lot better price from him. And if you just look at the guys he's going around and be I wonder if I can make a trade for this. Devonta Smith is a guy who goes right around Ladd McConkey. I'm definitely rather have Devonta Smith over Ladd. Same thing with Amari Cooper. I think Rashad White, Bucky Irving, maybe plus in that scenario too. Those are all guys I would like to be trading for, shipping Ladd McConkey for guys like that. I'm just not a believer. I mean, maybe he does crush it down at the end of the season. That's the only thing that scares me. He's a rookie. He could, kind of start to figure more things out. But I just don't think the overall volume's there. throughout the whole season. And yeah, I'm just not the biggest I've kind of been a Lad hater the entire offseason. So I thought I'd stick to my guns and go back to playing the hits on what works here.
Yeah, I mean, I was also someone that was fading Ladd McConkey a bit heading into the year. But that was mostly just I love Roman Wilson. And I was like, why get Ladd McConkey when I could get Roman Wilson, the same exact archetype, a lot later? And well, Roman Wilson isn't playing football this season, so that hasn't gone well.
Is he on season ending IR or is he just IR?
I mean, it's just IR, but if it's the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, he's not playing.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not playing. But Ladd McConkey, I mean, he got a good spot, but to your point, it is a low pass volume offense, and he is only taking the touchdowns. What better time to sell than a 2-touchdown performance? And if you go to keep, trade, cut, let's play the name game here, Tyler. You already gave a few players that you would look for, but I'm going to go players below him at keep, trade, cut, and you stop me when you would rather have Ladd McConkey.
Okay.
DJ Moore. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
No.
Keon Coleman.
No.
Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin.
I've Terry, 100%.
Xavier Worthy.
Oh, I don't like Worthy. I'm going to say no because I want to hear another name, but it's close. That one's 50-50.
We are starting to get close. There's another name on here that I know you're going to talk about later. Tank Dell.
No, give me Tank Dell.
Deebo Samuel.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm not allowed. Dynasty, especially.
But for the sake of argument, after Deebo, there's Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Jamison Williams.
Ayuk is that low?
Dude, Ayuk.
No. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's why you don't use keep track cut. That's why you use PlayerProfiler, right?
Yeah. That's why we go to PlayerProfiler. Yeah. A lot better over there. But I just like looking at it because I feel like, the consensus kind of thing helps.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Perspective. But yeah, I mean, to your point, what is it? Wide receiver 24, keep, trade, cut, Ladd McConkey. I wonder where we have him. I mean, probably right around the same, but let's see.
I don't think we have Brandon Ayuk that low, though, right? Hopefully not.
No, we do not. There's no way we have Brandon Ayuk that low. We do have him at 23, Brandon Ayuk at 28.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's a little bit better for sure. Okay, so I like the Ladd McConkey call. I think that's a fun one. I'll go ahead and just stick with the Chargers because I'm still a big fan of selling J.K. Dobbins. This might be a cop-out. I feel like everyone's sell J.K. Dobbins, but we're RB25 on Keep Trade Cut, RB29 on Player Profiler, and finding himself as the RB18 in seasonal league so far. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Jason, you got to stop making these injury concern trades, right? Like J.K. Dobbins, he stayed healthy. You can't bet on an injury, Okay, sure, whatever. On top of the injury concerns, how about some efficiency concerns? He's finding himself 30th in true yards per carry, 33rd in yards per touch, 53rd in juke rate, 25th in evaded tackles, 20th in breakaway runs, 46th in yards created per touch. The guy is just not efficient anymore. It's clear that his injury history has led to J.K. Dobbins losing his explosiveness. You can see it when you're watching the film. The guy looks very fast for like 5 yards, and then it's like he's hopping. It doesn't even look like he's running anymore. It just looks like he's hobbling down the field. And that's just where he is at this point in his career. It sucks. I love J.K. Dobbins. I do. He was awesome. But the injury history to me has piled up. You can see it in the efficiency metrics. He's just not that guy anymore. He's getting the points, but it's because of volume and touchdowns. And I just don't think that's sustainable to me. I just don't. So I am looking to sell J.K. Dobbins. There's some players around him that I would be looking for. DeAndre Swift in seasonal. If you could get into Devon Achane, they're right next to each other. I think that would be crazy. Brian Robinson, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Rashad White, Chase Brown, maybe. There's a lot of different options for me. I would even go so far as to trade J.K. Dobbins for Kamani Vidal and a cherry on top. I would just go ahead and make that hedging bet trade right now and see what you could get because I just don't believe that J.K. Dobbins is going to be able to finish the year in the way that he is right now. What do you think about J.K.?
Man, I want to love JK so much. I bet on him to score a touchdown last week, and he cashed a huge parlay for me. So I was like, it was like the last thing I needed. It was the only thing in the 3:00 games. Like, JK, brother, we need you. And Pat PI at the one, JK for first carry. That's not. No one cares about that though. But speaking of like, I didn't realize he was only 25. I thought it feels like he's like 27 at least, but he's only 25. He only really has like one good year to show for it. Obviously this year as well too, but. Like I said, I want to like JK so much, but when you're looking at it, again, take touchdowns aside, 17 for 57, 14 for 40, 25 for 96. That was not bad. 25 carries, that's crazy. 14 for 32, 15 for 44. Like, there's just a lot of, non-efficient games in there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get healthier as the season goes along, especially like in his case, he's not going to get healthier. So I don't know if like he's going to be playing his best football at the end, which is kind of what you're kind of, this is the point in the season where you're starting to look for like who's going to be playing their best football, down the stretch here, because it doesn't really matter what you do in weeks 1 through 8. It matters what you kind of do in weeks 8 through 17. So
13 to 17, really.
yeah, 13 to 17. Yeah, exactly. Especially in a business like mine. But yeah, that being said, though, you would have loved to have Dobbins, at the ADP he was going at all summer. That being said, but yeah, if you can get him for any of the guys that you just mentioned, like Achane, those guys, like I'm 100% pulling the trigger on that. Like, I don't think Dobbins is going to get better. He might stay the same. He might get a tad worse. Like, he's definitely not getting better though. Right now he's RB18. I would shoot for some guys, who have been hurt / have some upside down the stretch. Like Achane's a guy who is like, if Tua is there, Achane is the guy. He is going to he's going to melt faces, right? So definitely Achane over Dobbins. Definitely, those guys like Najee Harris. Even though Najee and Dobbins are similar play type, but definitely give me like Najee Harris. He looks a lot better than Dobbins. So I'm with you on the Dobbins. So I'm with you there.
I think, I don't know. Theo's in here telling me I'm sleeping on him. I get it. I can't trust the player. I really can't. I would take that second round pick that is probably pretty widely available across Dynasty, or, like I said, get cute with it and try for Kamani Vidal and see what I could get on top of that. Now, of course, if you're relying on J.K. Dobbins, you're probably not doing that Vidal trade, but we did mention the running backs around him that I would just rather have. Like, I feel like DeAndre Swift, for example, just is still a little bit undervalued. And right around that same range with a lot more juice on a better offense. So that's where I'm at with Dobbins. Who's your next guy? Who are you moving on from right now?
You kind of another bruising running back that really doesn't excite you all that much. It's James Conner. Like James Conner, he's a big back. He's going to run hard, and that's about it. He catches some passes here and there, but I'm just not like, from what I think you can get for Conner, I am more than willing to move off him. He's RB14 on the year right now, RB30 on Keep Trade Cut. I'm more looking at it as like a seasonal thing. His ceiling just isn't really all that high. Like, you look at some of his games that he's had, and it's the highest games he's had where have been 19 fantasy points. Those came in both weeks 1 and 2. Like, if he scores a touchdown, he's going to be great. Like 18 points, 17 points, 14 points. Like, he's fine. Like, he's not a bad running back, but I just don't think he has that weekly ceiling. And it's not like I think he's immensely talented where I think he's going to, he can put up 15 plus points every. Like, there's going to be a lot of those, kind of J.K. Dobbins stat lines where it's, it's a 15 for, 50. It's a 15 for, or 17 for, 59 type of games with no touchdowns, and he doesn't catch a ton of passes. Yeah. So I think I'm worried on that end too with James Conner. And like I said, look at the guys that he's currently ranked around. So that's some of the guys I think you can get for him. HM was like a name I threw in there. David Montgomery, I think, is definitely a trade you could get done. I'd definitely rather have David Montgomery. Josh Jacobs, who's kind of playing really well as of late. George Pickens, Jaden Reed, Marvin Harrison. I think those are names you can at least, start a conversation with to obtain James Conner. Because like the person who has James Conner, like, isn't like, they're not like looking to sell him per se. Like, I think you could go in there. Like, it's like the other people who have James Conner. Like, if you could, I would like, if you have James Conner, just sell him. Just sell him for names like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It just, I have a type. I don't like these big bruising running backs that like don't catch passes. Like, cool to have this touchdown upside, but I'm not all in on the Conner train.
Conner's so tough for me because like he's just one of those players that just gets it done, no matter what, really, even if it's not exciting. But I am with you. Like, I have one share of James Conner in a dynasty league, and I've been trying to sell him. I just also feel like it's hard to get the production back. So you might have to get pretty cute with it. In seasonal, you could definitely get it done a lot easier. I think that's a good call there. And I mean, the Cardinals finally showed some signs of life last week. So there might be a little bit of a, hey, they're kind of figuring things out. Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, they just had their 100-yard games. This passing offense showing life will help out the run game. And open the door a little bit more for James Conner. So maybe things will start to get there. You can use that against your league mates, just saying, hey, they're stepping in the right direction. James Conner's going to have a good second half of the season, and then just move on from him. And we hate saying this. We don't like the injury stuff, but he hasn't ever had a fully healthy season. James Conner's never had a fully healthy season. I think his most is like 15, which is still plenty. But that trend is definitely there. So I don't mind that sell either. I like those calls too. Now, if you go to keep trade cut, I am curious because there's some like running backs are so interesting, right? You could have obviously like we would take Rachaad White, Tony Pollard right around him, but then like Braylon Allen is ahead of him. Like, what would you think of that? Like,
Yeah, I think James Conner is more valued than Braylon Allen at the moment.
It's tough. It's tough, but I think that there's definitely some package out there. You mentioned some wide receivers in here that might have to be the move. You might have to go try to find yourself a wide receiver. But that's a good call. I like that one. I don't have another Cardinal, so we won't go there. Won't say, oh yeah, I've got. But I will go with another running back that is very similar. Very, very similar. Chuba Hubbard. There's another guy. He's just getting it done. In Dynasty, you're probably not going to be able to get anything. In fact, I'm starting to come around to maybe liking him in Dynasty. I don't think Jonathan Brooks is going to come and be a bell cow immediately, especially for this season. And I don't necessarily know if Chuba Hubbard isn't a Panther next year. Yeah, his contract does expire this year, but I think he could easily get re-signed. However, right now he's sitting at RB11 on the year, and things are starting to trend towards Bryce Young being the quarterback for the rest of the season. Andy Dalton was already losing some steam, and then he got in that car crash, and now it's just been Bryce Young. Bryce Young looked fine last week. I'm not going to say he looked better than fine. He looked fine. But in the 3 games that Bryce Young has been the quarterback, Chuba Hubbard's point totals are 1.4, 11.6, and 9.1. There's just no ceiling on the Panthers offense with Bryce Young, and he's not targeted enough. He has a 0-target game and a 2-target game with Bryce Young. So it's not something I want to bet on, especially with Jonathan Brooks probably returning this week or next. Because he just keeps getting very, very close to being activated, and then it's just not happening. But it will at some point. When that happens, you're probably not going to be able to get anything for Chuba Hubbard. Now, of course, people already kind of know that, but there's just a lot of players around him that I would be looking for. But mostly what I would be doing, because Chuba Hubbard was a free asset, I would be looking for another free asset with something on top. I would 100% be shopping my Chuba Hubbard for handcuffs and seeing what cherry I could get on top. The rookie handcuffs in particular. Take Chuba Hubbard and see what you could get on top of a Jalen Wright, a Trey Benson, a Kamani Vidal, a Blake Corum, a Ray Davis, maybe a Marshawn Lloyd if you start to hear some more about him actually making it back onto the football field. But I would be taking the upside swings on some contingent upside running backs, as well as seeing what cherry you could get on top. Like if you could get like a Jalen Wright and a DeAndre Hopkins for Chuba Hubbard, like that's just a beautiful move to me. And I think that is out there, especially in seasonal. I would be looking to move on from Chuba Hubbard. What are you thinking about him so far this year and kind of rest of the year?
It feels like he's going to be a Cowboy next year. That's where he's going. Definitely Dallas Cowboys is definitely where I have Chuba pegged going. But for this year, like, man, he's been so good this year. He's been so good this year. Where like there was that stretch where it's like he has the most fantasy points not named Derrick Henry in like this 4-week span, which 4 weeks is a pretty good span. So I like Chuba, but I agree with you're saying that like he's not like when Brooks comes back, like, and they're being extra cautious with Brooks, which is what you want to see, if you're a Jonathan Brooks dynasty manager, I think too. But I just don't see how Chuba just going to continue to get 15 plus carries every single game when Brooks does eventually come back. Like you said, you want these guys playing their best football from a fantasy perspective down the stretch. Like if it's week 15, Brooks has been back for 4 weeks. Like I think that looks a lot more 50-50 where, Brooks, I think, he's a pass catcher, right? We know that. We love that about him, right? He's a similar build to Chuba Hubbard. So it's not like it's like where you can justify where it's like, oh, you got Algier is gonna be the grinder and you got Bijan who's gonna catch passes and do all the fun stuff, right? It's not like that where they can kind of both do some things. So it's gonna be truly 50-50. And I think you can sell higher on him now than you will be able to, like I said, in week 12, 13, 14, where we've seen Jonathan Brooks, and what if Jonathan Brooks just comes out and lights it up and the hype is all there. So yeah, I'm a little skeptical about Chuba. I agree with the sell. I would, like I said, like you said, the Jalen Wright, DeAndre Hopkins type of deal. That's more than fine of what I'd be looking for.
Nice. All right, who's your final player that you're scared to roster for the rest of the year?
Oh, it's a player I didn't draft much of this offseason. I like I said, I'm obsessed with this closing the season strong thing. Deebo Samuel, I don't see how he closes the season strong. He's already dealing with the ribs, oblique. Ribs isn't just something that like gets better. Like it's just not something that just gets better. Like he's probably going to be dealing with that the entire, the rest of the season. He plays like a physical brand of football too. He's not like one of these finesse guys. Like he's not an Ayuk where he's going to go route you up and then like you could possibly not even touch him the entire game. Like Debo's he's a yak guy. He relies on yards after the catch. He's almost a glorified running back. He does play running back. We know this. Yeah. And like that, it's just going to continue to take a beating on him. I think he's got the pneumonia factor. He had the hamstring earlier in the year or the knee, whatever it was, that lower body injury. Like he's just like he's older now. It feels like he's fragile. CMC is coming back. Whatever you want to say about that, I'm just kind of playing the probability. CMC is going to come back and probably be involved. Like I don't think CMC is sitting out the entire season. Like CMC is going to be involved in the pass catching game. I could see them putting him at wide receiver because like that's kind of what they need right now is a lot more pass catching stuff. So I just think Deebo Samuel is like his worst days are ahead of him in terms of this season. So I'm gonna try and get out right now while you still can. He's wide receiver 30, wide receiver 31 on Keep Drake Cut. I'm probably trying to sell on him in honestly like in both formats, in seasonal and in dynasty. Like I just don't want to be in the Deebo Samuel business. Pearsall's look kind of fun, he's back for a couple games. He's at least looked okay. So I think if you could trade Deebo for guys like Josh Downs, even plus on that, I think you get Josh Downs plus little sweetener in there. George Pickens, DK Metcalf. I put J.K. Dobbins on there. I think I'd rather have Dobbins over Deebo personally. And then Travis Etienne plus. Like Etienne's coming back. I think there's some. I don't think we've seen the last of Etienne. I'm gonna put it like that. I don't think we've seen the last of Etienne. I would if this was a buy show, I would put him as a sneaky buy. Travis Etienne.
I was offered Travis Etienne in a trade today, and I couldn't do it. I was like, if this was heading into the season, I would do it, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm as confident as him returning, but I do still think he'll be fine, right? At least 50%. You can't take him off the field. But I agree with you. I am Deebo Samuel's biggest fan. I feel like he's my favorite player in the NFL. I just love watching him play. But the contract situation in San Francisco, it seems that he's probably not going to be a 49er next year. So that's kind of a tick in dynasty. And then, you mentioned all these injury concerns and Christian McCaffrey and just the 49ers as a whole, not really looking the part. You could definitely see a poor close to the year for Deebo Samuel. And I mean, the fact remains that you could probably get Ricky Pearsall plus. You could probably take Deebo Samuel and get a ton of different players with similar upside, with cherries on top, or just make the switch because it just looks like he's not going to be healthy for the stretch, unfortunately, which sucks because I do feel like historically he's a guy that can win you a championship. Like he just comes alive when the games get cold or when the weather gets cold and it's playoff season and everything's on the line. He just shows up. But I'm kind of with you. I don't feel it this year. I roster him in trade gods. I've been trying to move on from him all season. It just seems like no one's really biting in the way I want. So I think I've got to get cuter and look at some of these names that you've put. And I think that there's definitely some moves out there that you could take away Deebo Samuel for. I mean, what, Xavier Legette plus?
Yeah, give me all the Xavier Legette, baby. I'm all in. We're all in on Xavier Legette over here.
You can get Cooper Kupp, maybe JMO still. There's a lot of
if you can get Cooper Kupp for Deebo Samuel, you do that trade the second it comes in your inbox. The second it comes there. Like, give me Cooper Kupp. It's a no-brainer.
Yep. All right, well, I'll send you Deebo Samuel for Cooper Kupp in the Trade Gods League. If you
Please
want.
do it. Please do. Wait, I got Cooper Kupp. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna win that league, by the way. I'm winning the. I'm
winning the league. I'm making.
No, you're not. No, Jason, look at your team, brother. You're not winning that. Look at your
team. Got a good team.
We're gonna do a side-by-side comparison right now. I'm on the PlayerProfiler admin on StreamYard right now. I'll put it up on the screen.
Do it. My team is electric.
Okay, he said do it. I'm gonna take him up on that. Chat. You guys gotta decide. Let's look at this. I wish we were playing each other. That would make it a lot more better for viewing. We'll start with Jason's team and then we'll go to my team. All right. Okay. Here we go. God, I wish I could do it.
Don't forget my awesome taxi squad. And I
also. Okay. Here, wait. Let me share my screen. There we go. All right. Here we go. Jason's team's on the left. All right. This is who he's got: Geno, Josh Jacobs, Brian Robinson, Tyler Lockett, DeAndre Hopkins, Marvin Harrison, who I traded him a week ago, Kyle Pitts, Tillman, Swift, Stafford, and then what we got? Bryce Young, Eckler, Legette. I traded him that too. That's not great. Deebo, JMO, trending down. Trey Palmer. Okay, that's his team.
Hey, and JJ McCarthy, Michael.
Oh, sorry, JJ McCarthy
and Ryan Flournoy.
And Ryan Flournoy, yes. Taxi Squad's elite. Taxi Squad's elite. Here we go. This is my team. Justin Herbert, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, Calvin Ridley, Diggs is out, whatever. Kate Otten, James Conner, who I should sell, Cooper Kupp, Jared Goff, and then my bench. Like I still got DK, I still got Deontay, I got Laporta down there. And this is a 14-team league. Like, and if we take a scroll over here too, I believe if we go to standings,
I'm in 6th.
Oh yeah.
Hey, well, to be fair, I was the one going, like, I had Cooper Kupp. That's why you had him now. So that kind of hurt. I had a lot of injuries hit me at the beginning of the year. You know, I've got, you know, I think my team is ready for a good late season push. I really do. I think I've got some studs. I've got a nice balance of old and young.
You got no picks though. You have absolutely no picks.
No picks.
I got 2 firsts this year. I got mine. I got is it Siebes? Siebes. Hey. Where is Siebes in the standings right now? Siebes is at 8th. At 8th. That's great. You love to see that. 8th in the standings, misses the playoffs. That'd be awesome.
Well, if you don't want those 2 firsts, I'll give you a DeAndre Hopkins for
him. Get ready to learn Quinshon Judkins.
All right, chat. You let us know which team is better. I think it's mine. It might be Tyler's. Tyler's maybe for this year, but I think I've got
this year for sure. No, yeah, balance. Yeah, my team's old as hell. I'm trying to win this year. I think I got the squad to do it. Diggs getting hurt doesn't help, but we got some guys we can slot in. Sam Laporta, you know, tight end premium. We'll just figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
The cores is hitting you too hard this morning. All right, guys. My final sell. I'm terrified of this player right now, and I can't believe I'm saying it, or maybe I can believe I'm saying it. Tucker Kraft. You know, I think that this guy, his value rose way too fast, way too high, way too fast, right? He's now the tight end 2 on the season, and he finds himself on the top 10 on Player Profiler and Keep Trade Cut rankings. And a lot of that because of weeks 4 and 5. Week 4, no Christian Watson, so 9 targets, 6 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Week 5, no Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 88 yards. Since then, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson have returned. He has not had a single game over the last 3 weeks with more than 3 targets. And literally the only reason he's doing anything is because of touchdowns. He has 2 touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. He's efficient. He's not getting much opportunity. Luke Musgrave will return at some point this season. I still think Tucker Kraft is the tight end 1. I just think that Luke Musgrave will still take like 1 to 2 targets away from him, which means you're talking about a guy who's only getting 2 to 3 targets a game who needs a touchdown. And they're already spreading it around to Doubs, Watson, Reed, Wicks, Melton, right? There's just too many mouths to feed. And when you're talking about being able to take a Tucker Kraft and realistically get Mark Andrews, realistically get Travis Kelce, maybe Evan Ingram, David Njoku, and you might not even have to add much to get a Kyle Pitts, a Trey McBride, a Sam Laporta. I'm doing it 10 times out of 10. You know, I would be taking Tucker Kraft and getting really any tight end with actual name value right now. I think he's good. I do like Tucker Kraft. I just think his value should be closer to like a Dalton Schultz, Pat Freiermuth, something like that, where it's not. I don't think he's a top 10 asset, at least not with the amount of volume he's getting.
Yeah, it feels like kind of Cole Kmet, you know, from a Pat. And I mean, this year, but the past couple of years, where it's like Cole Kmet had some touchdown games where it's like he wasn't getting targets, yards, all that stuff. It feels like a Cole Kmet 2024 type of situation, which, like, you know, it's hard to argue against it. Like, look at the points, but if you look at like, you know, the everything other than points, it's like it doesn't feel great just getting there on touchdowns. But you know, it's kind of what tight ends do. It's a touchdown game. But you play the name game with me. I want to play the name game with you. For tight end, stop when I get to a tight end you rather have over Tucker Kraft, all right, for the rest of the season.
Okay. Or over, or that I would rather have Tucker Kraft.
You rather have you rather have Tucker Kraft than
okay.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's go. Let's start with Sam Laporta. Not great season.
I would rather have Sam Laporta.
Okay. Let's go Jake Ferguson.
Give me Fergie.
Evan Ingram. I guess now, yeah. Dalton Kincaid. Not a great season whatsoever.
No, I think I would still take Kincaid, and I'm not a big Kincaid guy, but still attached to Josh Allen. There's a little bit less mouths to feed.
All right. Cole Kmet. We just comped him to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would rather have Cole Kmet. Just because he seemed like Caleb Williams seems to like him. He's getting a little bit more volume.
Dallas Goedert.
I'll take Kraft.
All right. That's where the line is. Now, okay, one more. TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, the Hawk. I would give like 3 Tucker Crafts for that Hawk.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a big Hawk guy. I'm very excited for his return. I have like 57% best ball exposure, so I'm really hoping for a good second.
Oh, for Hawk? How many teams did you draft?
Not many. I think like 60 something, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, we're entering sweat season over here on our end right now. I take every week on Tuesday morning or Tuesday, I go through and I count how many teams I'm advancing. I want to know, because people obviously Best Ball Mini, you can look at it as BBMD, you can look at it really fast, but I like to know how many teams across all the contests I do, because I do a lot more than just Best Ball Mania. How many I'm advancing, and I think I'm advancing like 20. I think it's at 24% right now, or 23% or something like that. So we're looking good right now. But it's just all that matters is week 17. It's the only thing that matters. So hopefully
I don't even know how to check that. This is still like year 2 of best ball.
You just got to go in and literally manually count what teams are in first, second, and third place in some instances too. So it's tough. It takes a little bit.
I did all my best ball manias too early. My puppies and stuff are doing fine, but still I'm definitely not making enough money this year. And I had so much JMO.
We definitely did a draft together. Let me see how that team is doing. We definitely drafted together on stream. That definitely happened. Let me see. Well, you can transition us to the next topic while I look this up and see if we have a team that's killing it together.
Yeah. So this was the show, but bonus take.
Yes.
Shout out producer Dustin. He's killing it, killing the game. Sent him the show sheet this week. He wanted out to sell for himself. Our producer Dustin is saying to sell Josh Allen. You might be thinking that's crazy, but I don't mind it. We talked about selling him, heading into the year, even on Trade Gods on this show too. Just the quarterback position is so deep, and right now you can take that first quarterback overall and get, probably not Jaden Daniels anymore, but really any quarterback with a good cherry on top at this point. And he points out that Allen has one of the hardest remaining schedules. He has to play against the Dolphins, the Chiefs, the Niners, the Rams to finish the regular season. And then in the playoffs, he has the Lions, the Patriots, and the Jets. So iffy, divisional matchups are always kind of something. So he says to try to upgrade or downgrade at quarterback while trying to make up for it in a position of need. And I don't hate that at all. I mean, taking like a Josh Allen and getting, probably a Jordan Love and Jaden Reed and probably a pick. And maybe more. Like you can really, really get a haul for Josh Allen. And let me be clear, you want a haul for Josh Allen. You are looking for that trade that blows your mind. But they happen. I gave up a ton for Josh Allen in a Superflex league a couple years ago. And that trade kind of burned my team, really. Really, I had nothing else because I had to give so much for Josh Allen. And it helped the other team that sold Josh Allen make the playoffs. So it's out there. You can find it. I don't mind that call at all, Dustin. Shout out to you. Now, Tyler, you were pulling up our best ball team. I'm curious how it's doing.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know what contest it was specifically, so I'm trying to go through.
Mania. I think we went for a best ball mania.
I thought we did a little board or I know we did a pre-draft one.
I did 2 streams with you, so we have 2 teams out
there. We do a BBM?
But it is very possible that I just entered with you.
Oh, see, yeah, that might be what it be. That might be what it was. That might be what it was.
It's very possible I drafted my own.
Because I would have labeled it with Jason. That's because I got a lot of people I have to pay money out to if one of those teams hits. Like I did one with Flock Fantasy. That team's in first right now. I feel really good about it. That's might be one of my favorite teams I have right now. Is that one I did with Flock? That was to open the 24-hour stream. Crazy. It doesn't make me feel good that the best draft I did was the first hour.
Oh well.
What can you do?
Jamie says that they cheated this year. They listened to you all off season, and that really helped.
There we go, baby. Make it feel money.
Why don't you plug that? What all of you got working on? Tell people about your YouTube channel, all your great stuff.
Come sub PPR Tyler. That's the YouTube channel. That's my personal one. It's a lot of best ball stuff, a lot of underdog, dailies kind of more now. We talk through, each week slate. I'm live a lot more. If you're going to go on my account, you're going to go click on see how many videos I've done lately. It's not going to be that much. I've been coaching. I coach high school football. Our season just ended last Friday. So I'm really, kind of my afternoons, my nights are free again. So I'm going to hop back on the grind. We're going to be streaming a lot. As soon as the big board drops in January, that's what I think it was late January, early February last year. As soon as that drops, we are going to be live every single day. We go live every single day. We stack up days. I think our streak got up to, I think it was 80 something days last year. I have to go back and check, but it was like 80 something days in a row. We were live. We were streaming. So make sure you come over and hang out with us over at PPR Tyler. The thumbnails are getting better. The production quality is getting better. We're firing on all cylinders right now. So come toss a sub, come hang out. It's a fun community. I will add too, we just had one of our community members get like top 5 in the battle royale last week. He's in our ESPN Best Ball Barbecue Major Leagues league. So he was in first for a little bit there, and then he got dropped down to 5th because of like a Joe Mixon fumble discrepancy or something like that. So he had winning 50K next to his name for a little bit. So that was awesome. But yeah, come toss a sub, and yeah, thanks Jason for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on Wake and Take. I said I think the last time I was on Wake and Take was when I sent you that clip from the draft house where Xavier Legette finishing as the top 24 wide receiver.
No. We had you on a couple months ago. We did. We talked about.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember
how Kyron Williams was bad and how
that doesn't look great. That doesn't look great. Matt's gonna die on that hill. He's gonna die on the Kyron hill.
We all are. I think we have to at this point.
Yeah, man. I didn't draft a lot of him in best ball. That doesn't feel good.
No. The only time I did felt like I had to.
Yeah, right. It's like when he falls like 9 spots, like I guess I'll take Kyron.
Kyron. Turns out that was probably a good move, but that's the beauty of fantasy football. We never know. We never know. Although we should have known. He was good at football. We should have just kind of bet on that. Cool for president? No. Not yet, at least.
I think Corum's got a late half run in him. I do.
Maybe.
I do. He's getting more reps. He watching the primetime games. He's getting a little bit more run here and there. I think I'm holding. He was like one of my most drafted players, but I'm holding out hope on Corum. I think he can still get there. Like a 2-touchdown performance in week 17 is all we need from him. That's all we need.
3 carries, 4 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I'm fine with that.
Man, well, it is always awesome chopping it up with you. Thank you for joining me for this Halloween special and getting into the festive spirit with your awesome costume. Always doing it again.
Here. I'll take us out. You ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Who am I? Hey, chat. Who am I? Or let me take the headphones off here. Oh, no.
Xavier Legette. You all have a terrific Thursday, a happy Halloween, and make sure you tune in tomorrow for some more Wake and Take, 10 a.m. Eastern. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and have a good one. Peace.
From the Podfather to you, I deeply appreciate you tuning in. And many ask, what can I do? What can I do to help support the hosts, the research they do, the production costs? Go to PlayerProfiler.com, Dynasty Deluxe, World Famous Draft Kit, Rankings, DFS Dominator, and of course, data analysis. Subscribe to any one of those, and you support all of us and take Player Profiler to the moon.